Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel. As you might have already known, Apple M1 is a series of ARM-based systems on a chip designed by Apple. They are incredibly powerful and energy efficient. However, since they are based on the ARM architecture family, you cannot use your x86 binaries on the Apple M1 MacBooks. One way to resolve this issue is to use a virtualization software that could emulate an x86 64-based operating system. However, most common virtualization softwares like VirtualBox are not supported by the Apple M1. That's why we will use one of my favorite virtualization softwares for M1 Mac called UTM. If you are subscribed to my channel, you might have already seen the video where we used UTM in order to install Kali Linux on our M1 Macs. If you haven't already, please click on the link on the top right to view that video. In this video, we will install an x86 64-based Windows 10 on our M1 MacBook using UTM software. So in order to do that, let's quickly install UTM on our M1 MacBook. I'll simply go to this URL, which is mac.getutm.app, and then I will simply click on downloads and download the DMG file. Once the download is completed, simply double click it to install the UTM application, similar to how you would install any other application on your MacBook. So I'm gonna double click it and let me shorten it, and now you can see that I have the UTM app. I'll drag it and drop it to the applications, and that's it. I have successfully installed UTM. I can go back to my applications folder and double click it, and this would give me a prompt that asks me a standard question that M1 Mac or MacBook in general always asks, that you have downloaded this app from the internet, do you really want to open it? Of course, I'm going to say open, and now I have UTM installed and opened. The next thing that we would want to do is to download the Windows 10 image. So let me quickly go to our browser and let me close this, make it full screen. And I'll type Windows 10 download. And from Microsoft's official website, you can actually download your favorite Windows 10. Let me change it to English and US. And then you can select your edition, confirm whichever version you want, and then you can download it either 64-bit or 32-bit. Of course, since this video is about running x86 64 Windows 10 on M1 MacBook, we will download the 64-bit. And as you can see, I already have the Windows 10 ISO file downloaded, so I'm going to cancel it and just use that one. I'll open my UTM, and now I will create a new virtual machine. So here we will click on emulate, select Windows, and since it says select a boot image, let's do so. So we will click on the browse button here in boot ISO and select our Windows 10 that we just downloaded. Make sure you uncheck the import VHDX button. You can check the UEFI, and you have selected the boot ISO. It also says that for best Windows experience, make sure to download and install the latest Spice tools and qemu drivers. So let's see what exactly this is. So I'm going to click it, and it has opened the web page on my other screen, but Or let me quickly cancel and show it to you. This is the page that it opened, and from here I could download the Spice Guest tools which have been downloaded here. And as you can see, I have already downloaded it, so I'm gonna just stop this. Okay, so now we have UTM installed, our Windows 10 downloaded, and our Spice tools downloaded. So let's create the virtual machine first. I'm going to again create a new virtual machine, emulate, Windows, UEFI boot, open my ISO and click on continue. Here I would use x86 64. I will use the standard PCQ35 ICH9 2009, the one that's by default. I will increase the memory a little since I have 32 gigs here. I will actually give it 16, just half of my RAM. I have an M1 Max, so I'm going to give it 6 CPU cores, but you can change it. Ideally, 4 cores should be enough with a minimum of 8 gigs of RAM. I'm going to click on continue. I will increase this to 128 gigs. We could share a directory, but for now I'm just going to leave it B. I will name it Windows 10 and then I will click on save. Now you can see the status is stopped, the architecture is x86 64, the machine name, memory, size, shared drive, which is none, and our bootable CD. In case you want to edit it, you can simply right click and edit this. So let's edit a few of our settings. So first we'll go to the system, and here I will change this CPU to qemu virtual CPU version 2.5 plus with qemu 64 v1. I will click on force multicore, so I will check this button. Then we'll go to qemu. These are advanced settings, so we don't want to touch them. On display, I would want to have full graphics. Of course, I want to resize the display, and I'm going to just leave the upscaling to nearest neighbor. I'll leave the inputs to be default. For network, I will change it to bridge so that I could access the machine when I want. I will leave the IP configuration as such. I will want to have an audio card emulated. For sharing, I will enable both clipboard and directory, although we have not mapped it yet. Or let me just uncheck the directory for now. We can always recheck it. And then the IT drives, I'll just leave them be. So let me hit save. And now I can start my virtual machine. And you need to know that this process takes a lot of time, so I'm going to press enter to boot from CD DVD. And because it's emulated, it will be considerably slower than your typical VirtualBox virtual machines. Nevertheless, you should be able to run Windows 10 on your ARM-based M1 MacBook. Alright, I will just let these be default. I'll just change the the keyboard to be US because that's, I think, for me is most important. Click on next, install now.
A few moments later.
Alright, and here I do not have a product key, so I will select I don't have a product key. I will select Windows 10 Home. accept the terms of agreement. I'll click on custom install, select my allocated drive, click on next. Basically the same way you would install Windows system on any other virtualization software or using a live boot to install it on a native machine, we'll do the same thing. Now this will take a lot of time, so I'm going to pause the video here until the setup is complete, and once the setup is complete, then we'll see what next steps we need to take.
A few moments later.
Now if you have gone through the entire Windows setup process successfully and have arrived to the login screen, well and good. But if you have got this error like me about OOBE keyboard, follow the steps that I'm going to show right now. In order to resolve this issue, we need to go into the administrator account. In order to do that, press Fn, Ctrl, Shift and F3. This will restart the system and reboot you into the administrator account. Once you are logged into your administrator account, click cancel, press Windows R and type regedit. Once the registry editor opens, go to hkey_local machine, go to system, here go to setup, and here change the following. First, the command line, leave it blank, then respecialize command line, also make it blank, go to setup type, change it to 0, change OOB in progress to 0, and finally the setup phase, also change it to 0. Next, we will have to go to hkey_local machine, but instead of system, we'll now go to software. Here we go to Microsoft, and we need to go to Windows, so let me scroll down. Windows, then I need to go to current version, which is here, and policies in the current version, so let me go can't find policies. Oh, here it is, policies, and in policies finally system. All right. And here we need to change one variable, which is enable cursor suppression. I double click it, and here also I'll change it to 0. And now we can close our registry editor. What we have done is we have successfully disabled the Windows OOBE. OOBE stands for out-of-box experience. This is basically a feature. When you install Windows, it sets up certain features for you, like connecting to the internet, keyboards, etc. If you want to learn more about it, simply Google it and you'll find tons of links that will help you in understanding what exactly is OOBE. Since now we disabled OOBE, what we need to do next is create our own user. We can do that by again going to the run window by pressing Windows R and typing netelviz. Now here I will go to advanced and then again advanced. Then I'll go to users. Now we will right click and click on new user. Type the name of the user. So I will just type it elastic, leave everything blank, uncheck it, password never expires, and create new user. If I close, you can see that I have created a new user successfully. I will right click it, go to properties, go to member of, and type add. Here I will choose administrators and click on check names. And now it's added to the administrator groups. I'll click OK, apply, OK. Great. So now we have skipped the OOBE setup and created a new user so that we could directly log in. I will close this again, and click here, restart. Hopefully now we'll be restarted into our Windows system. And now, as you can see, our setup is logging into our Windows system. And now, as you can see, we have successfully logged in. Now, if you remember, initially we downloaded the Spice Guest Utils image file. So now what we're going to do is install it in our Windows Guest. I will click on the CD, click here and click on change. Choose my Spice Guest tools and open. Now I'll go to my drive. So let me open the folder. I'll go to my PC to check my drive. Open the qemu drive that we just inserted. And then install the Spice Guest tools. Now as you see that the SpiceGuest tools are installed, our windows were resized. This is because now SpiceGuest tools will allow us to resize and reshape our windows, and also the display performance will be better. Once done, simply click on finish, and now we can eject our CD. And now we have successfully installed Windows 10 with our user and installed the SpiceGuest tool for better display performance. I hope you enjoyed this video and you were able to follow it in order to create your x86 machines on your M1 MacBooks. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.